Okay, there we go. So I'm live again. And I figured just to have this live stream just be a simple one. It's a nice simple ask me anything and whatever. Nothing fancy, nothing too woozy wooey. Just simple. And whatnot. This thing. There. Ugh. I don't know about you, but don't move to Arizona. Don't live in Arizona. It's right now way too hot. Hello, cat. It's been many moons since I've seen you last. As you can probably tell, I am hot and I'm sweating and I'm fanning myself. Hello, Halseer. Ugh. Ah. And hello, Carlos. I'm just really hot. So here, have I read the? Let me pop this out. Get this out of my life. Okay, let's try this again. Carlos, have you found that Milotech yet? I hope so. If not, well, I blame the game. Just hack the game and say, "Hey, game, give me my pretty fish serpent thingy mobini." Or even better yet, give me my damn Feebass fish. Yay! Have I read The Last Unicorn? I haven't read The Last Unicorn, so nothing on that one. And usually they like unicorns. This one doesn't. I'm not really that fond of unicorns. I'm like, oh, okay. It's just a pony with a thing on his head ready to poke someone. Sometimes it does. Sometimes my live stream does that, and it's a piece of crap. But pretty much, sometimes the live stream does do something stupid. It's like, sometimes it does do that, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that's why. That's why. One of my games decided to think it's okay to update itself without me telling it to. Yes, unicorns, they are beautiful and they are pure, yes. But for me, I'm not. For me, I'm not really into them. That's just me, though. But anywho, don't you have to, Carlos? Don't you have to make like the Feebas's beauty ratio or something like that? Don't you have to like increase it all the way to the maximum that you can possibly get it to, or like have like a higher friendship with it or something like that? At least that's what I remember having to do. I think. I'm trying to remember all the way back when I had one. Talk about a pain in the tush, but it's worth it. Well, some people think, wow, really? You're going to go through all this trouble just to have a pretty sea serpent fish serpent thing? Yep. Don't judge me. There, that's actually very interesting now that I'm thinking about it. And does like each animal have like its own unique way of speaking? Like for example, like a certain animal sounds in a different way, like it sounds a little bit more active, more. Oh, I thought. Oh, imagine a sloth. Hi, how are you doing today? Something like that. Like a sloth. Yet. That's the key word. Hasn't met a fox yet, because I can just see it. Well, unicorn, what are you doing on this winding road? How did that happen? How'd you get stung by a beedrill? Please nerf beedrill. It's too aggressive. What does the fox say? Hmm. I'd have to say, well, I wouldn't be able to say exactly what it would say, but I can say what. Oh, that's the case. Then get some warm water, put some Epsom salt and sea salt into it, and if you happen to have any lemon essential oil and tea tree essential oil, put it in there in the water. That with warm water, sea salt and Epsom salt. Put your foot in it and let it soak. That should do it. I don't know. I may not know exactly what the fox says, but I can't say one thing about the fox. Foxy, wow, that's quite the foxy fox right there. Don't no 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 foxy. I used to have two foxtails that a friend of mine actually made with fake fur. Calm down. One was Arctic was an Arctic fox color with a black spot, and another one was a pure midnight black tail. I used to have it, but somebody didn't pay the storage rent, so I lost them. Lord Beelzebub. Essentially, Beelzebub is essentially known as the one who flies. And Beelzebub can actually be linked to everything that can fly. So if it flies in the dark, that has a sign in connection to Beelzebub. Some people think, oh, well, it's just flies that he's connected to. That's just like, no. Besides, fun fact, did you happen to know what well-known books actually made connection with Beelzebub? A Lord of the Flies. With the pig head being on a stick, and when it was talking to one of the kids, yeah, that was an allusion to Lord Beelzebub right there. Mm-hmm. But what was flying? His head. The kid's imagination was what was flying so high in the head for being away from proper nutrition and being put into a state of survival. So much that he was getting traumatized that it was affecting his ability to see. So his mind was flying. His sense of reality was flying up in the air. So his reality around him went in midair too. And so did I. So did I. And even then, too, just saying that Lord Beelzebub is just a fly is kind of a bit one, lazy, two, unacceptable, three, kind of disrespectful because he's more than just a fly. But I don't know about you, but I don't think a spiritual entity would be like a fly being just a nuisance and annoying and just a pest. No, no. But the idea with him, well, the thing is, what Lord Beelzebub excels at is pretty much being able to infiltrate and gather intel. Because anything that flies can be alluded to him and he can connect to it. What's another thing that can fly? The night sky. I know that was probably a big one, so I'll say it again. The night sky can fly. Uh, it potentially can, but really the thing is, by stereotype, usually with anything involving like a gnat or something parasitic, or even a nuisance like a fly, that tends to be like the church saying, "Oh, it's a demon. There's a lot of flies in here. It's a demon." Oh, for bloody sakes! If there's a bunch of flies in a building, have you cleaned the building? Have you washed the building? No, you haven't. There's dung everywhere. Well, no wonder there's going to be flies here. Not a sign because of a demon like Belphegor just sitting in the corner. No, dimwit. Yep. But another thing that flies, again, like what I just said, the night sky. Because when, the sun goes down, what flies over? Night. That's why Beelzebub is also known as a night entity. Like the night, the dark, the shadow. And also the wind. You can even connect owls, any kind of bird that flies to them, as well as the goetic beings. Yeah, to be honest, the best way to put it, any documented entity, regardless of its origin, they all exist. They all do. To be honest. Excuse me. Well, the thing is that possibly the reason why it's making you feel crazy is because probably people around you were looking at you like, why are you even talking about someone like this? It makes no sense. Why you're acting weird? It's because they don't understand it. Oh well. If they don't understand, well, that's not your problem. I don't understand it, so I'm going to be resentful and tell it it's crazy and put it down so that way I'm not uncomfortable. Most of the time, people are afraid of what they don't get. It's okay. There's a lot of things I don't get, but I'm not scared of them. Probably the best example is like the. This is a bit of a point blank example, but who cares? I don't understand sometimes the logic of the government, but I'm not afraid of it. If you can help it, don't get hot flashes. What? We get them too, okay? Double fanned up. Yep. Well, because I used to do mixed martial arts, and one of the weapons I really wanted to learn were these, but my instructor never taught me them. So I decided, well, okay, if you're not going to teach me them, then fine, I'll learn them on my own then. No. But really, the fan, just up as a single. Oh yeah. Because the thing is, or even if someone's throwing a punch at you, the punch is coming. You use this as like a rising block, and then you strike. So, or even you go underneath the arm, you have the butt of the fan up the chin. Or even like another punch coming at you. You have the punch, hit over the top, under the stomach, then roll over. But mainly, it was meant to be seen as like a parry weapon, if that makes sense. They're usually made out of bamboo, or in this case, this is actually pure steel. I mean, you see the shimmer on it too. And actually, what the samurais actually did, they actually had one of these on them in case they needed to protect themselves. They never went in without a weapon. So they would have something like this. Because imagine, someone comes to get you, they like do a downward strike with a blade. You have this blocking it. That's going to block it. Because the blade is not going to be able to go through that. Because the blade is like only about that much thick. It's not going to get through. And it's also a weapon of deception too. Because 1 minute you can actually see somebody, like if you're just normally fanning the ends of them, that is actually pointy and sharp. So you're going to slash someone. But mainly having it closed, whack like that, like that, like that, that's going to cause a lot more damage. And mainly, again, like what I said, it's mainly meant to be like a parry weapon. Being able to, I used to be able to do that. Banging it and just flipping it through, but I haven't practiced in a while. And then, and most of the anime shows too, they actually have characters that actually just take like a fan and just whack someone. Because being whacked by a piece of bamboo, like a bamboo fan, and even a steel thing like this, that's gonna hurt. Yeah. Well, for me, I knew I had the ability all along. It's just I never really tapped into it until I got into my junior year of high school. Then I started really looking into it more. But for actually reading the tarot, I got my first deck in 20. Never really read with it up until 2017 when I met my mentor, and he taught me how to read it and a lot of other things too. All of his passing, and I didn't have a choice. He taught me it. Kind of glad he did though. Favorite card? Well, that one's actually my significator card, by the way. But when it comes to tarot, my favorite one. Yeah. That probably might even be like the best one either. But again, I'm strictly an intuitive reader. I'm strictly intuitive. Meaning that I don't read every deck the same way. I hate it when people do that. Oh, they have the devil. Oh, somebody has the devil. Oh, addictions and all that stuff. Oh, bloody heck. No. Because when people just limit themselves like that, saying, oh, you have the devil, so there must be some abuse going on or something like that. Oh, for bloody hell, no. Yeah. Like for a better thing to say, oh, you have the devil, okay. Possibly, this might be a good time for you to enjoy the physical senses. Like the 5 senses. Enjoy them more. And indulge in the circle around you. but also know your limitations and know when's enough to restrict yourself. And don't be afraid to be like a devil's advocate to someone saying, hey, you're going to have to stop drinking, dude, because for one, if you keep drinking, you're going to be blacking out and you're not going to remember where you wake up. So why don't you stop now? Tomorrow you can resume your drink fast and have more fun. But right now, enough. That's the devil's advocate ruining the party, being realistic and point blank, telling it for how it is. It's also a relationship that betters the self rather than both people. Whoops. I guess I broke a stereotype, but well, it happens. Also, known as the Chris Farley, as I like to call him, the Chris Farley of the tarot. Live life, live it hard, but know when enough's enough. And I mean of anything. The devil should be more of a Tauresian card. Because it's all about the senses. Taurus is all about the senses. And understanding that you can't indulge too much. And the Hierophant should be the Capricorn card. Because Capricorn is a sign of intimidation, fear, anxiety. What does the Hierophant do? If you don't believe me, you're going to hell. Okay. That's intimidation. Also, the Hierophant is all Virgos, as in like what card they should be. Well, the Hermit. Well, the thing is with Virgo, I don't like the Hierophant. I do not like the Hierophant card. But then again, it depends on how it's depicted. Depending on the depiction, the Rider-Waite Smith, I see that Hierophant, I think, oh, that's a malefic card, because you have somebody trying to be a like a Pope figure and taking in that quality of like, well, if you don't believe in him, you're going to hell. If you don't do these good things, if you don't do these things, you're going to hell. Which, to be honest, you don't. That's not a really good way to have somebody convert to your faith if you're going to intimidate them like that and force them to pay money in order to be considered blessed. And I really don't understand why it's a Tauresian or Venus card, because Venus as a planet and also as a guru doesn't intimidate nobody. She doesn't. While Capricorn or Saturn can. But really, since it is a guru figure, it would be more of a Jupiter and Capricorn. And Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn is really mad. That's where he gets really pissed off. Because you're telling a guru figure that he has to have some self-control with his preaching. That he needs to have some discipline on how he speaks. He has to control his volume. He has to teach in order to get a status. He has to teach and have an order with it. Both. Belongs to both of them. But mainly the sign of Aquarius has its original ownership by Saturn and Rahu, both, originally. But for adding it into tropical Western, it's ruled by Saturn, Rahu, and Uranus. All three. So am I. I'm an Aquarius moon, rising, drunk Saturn, and Lilith. A lot of Aquarius. And a lot of people, I think, have thought that I don't know astrology, and they've even said, Aquarius isn't a water sign, right? You don't say. You don't say. No, I did not know that. Of course I did. And for the record, too, actually, Aquarius behaves just like the sign of Cancer, if you didn't know that. Hmm. Any planet that is in Aquarius behaves like if it's in Cancer. What sign is that in Lilith and Moon? And how so? Well, according to one of the Vedic slokas, it says that if Moon is in the sign of Aquarius, it'll behave like it's in Cancer. So it's more than just Moon, because you have to look at more than just beyond just what it says. You have to dig deep. Essentially, Aquarius is shares the same quality as Cancer does, like the same protective qualities. But the thing that's different is that Aquarius is about a group of people. It's just like humanity as a whole. While Cancer is only upon the immediate family and what's close. Cancer is more single, like I'm single protective. And if you notice, that's actually correct. And that's why Aquarius also, if you have a Jupiter in Aquarius, he actually behaves like he's exalted. And I mean, to be quite honest, is really again, it's just I'm just regurgitating, I'm just recalling all the information. I mean, that's just what it is. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab something real quick. Hey, one more second. Hold on. Yeah, because I can load it down. Oh well. It tastes odd. But anyway, I never get away with this thing. But anyway.